going live, we're live.
Hello, good morning, Buggy fans. We are here for Bonus Race Day 2025. I am here at the top of Tech and Fru Street, but I am not in a booth. I am in the back of a truck. This is going to be a fun, wacky, and wild, cobbled together broadcast trying to bring you the results of all these race days. If you're caring enough to tune in here, you probably know things are going to be a little bit different. I'm Will Weiner. I'm still here for today, but I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Brian Arsham, who can kind of explain and take you through how all of this is going to be working on this modified, additional bonus, wacky, wild, wonderful race day. Part 1. Electric Boogaloo.
I'm working on it.
Looks like Brian might be working on the live stream, so I can keep vamping for a minute.
I'm trying to bounce between muting and trying to get some video here. Yeah, so this is a scuffed broadcast of Race Day 2025. It's mostly going to be audio only. If we do get video from various cell phones around the course, make sure to go to the YouTube channel. If you just want to listen to the audio, we're in Discord. So yeah, it's we've got a bunch of cameras recording things. This is not your normal race day. For those, normally at this point in time, we probably go over what Buggy is. Honestly, if you're watching this at 6:40 a.m. The week after Carnival, you probably know what Buggy is already. So we're going to skip that and just tell you what you're not going to see and what you are going to see. We've got cameras placed in the normal camera positions, but we're not live streaming it. We don't have Viewpoint today. Viewpoint is the company that normally does all the broadcast stuff. We don't have CMuTV today, although we really do want to shout out the various CMuTV students who are here manning cameras today. We don't have RCT today, but we do have a couple of folks from WRCT who are helping with the audio here, and a huge shout out to them as well. So there are cameras that are recording. We will get that up on YouTube. We also don't have the normal timing system, so we've got a few people with stopwatches. That's how this is all going to work. For those who do...
Yes, we'll try and...
Hey, Brian. Sorry to cut you off. We're a minute and a half out from the first competitive heat here, so I don't know if you want to get rosters read off or get started with that.
No, thank you, Nate. Yeah, so we'll be giving you the breakdown throughout this as we figure it out. But thank you for that, Brian. That's Nate down there at the start line. We also got Sophie in the chute, who we'll be hearing from in a little bit. But yeah, these are going to be mixed gender heats, so things are going to be a little funky. We aren't doing roll style. We are doing heats. They agreed to kind of throw out the bylaw for this year that heats, or that one division has to go all on the same day, so we're going to get a little bit of mix of everything from both days. We're going to do the best we can, and we're going to have fun. So here in this first heat, as it's coming up closely, we got Apex Men's A kicking things off. They're going to be in Firefly. They're going against CIA Women's C, so we're going to imagine some separation there. I will do my best as a journalist and a broadcaster to represent both buggies, but maybe a bit of a challenge.
Yep, we got both buggies being floated here at the line. Roadrunner for CIA Women's C, and I think that's Firefly for Apex Men's A as we getting down to the countdown here.
Sweet. We will again be giving unofficial times. There is no big giant clock in the sky, but we'll try our best.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're off.
All right, here we go. The first official heat. Gabriel Hall pushing for Apex Men's A. Anna Zaniolo going for CIAC. And honestly, not as much separation as you thought there might have been here with Apex. Definitely ahead of CIA, but CIAC not looking like slouches at all as we get into that 1-2 transition. And here we go. We are off, and now you start to see some of the separation between those two push teams. Bit of a shallow shove there from Apex. CIA has it down too, and we are into the free roll. Firefly rolling for CIA men's A. They're taking a bit of a wider line, slowly drifting in towards the curb here as we are going into the free roll. Roadrunner a good several seconds behind. Going to be trying my best to give you stop sign times as we can, as I am sitting in the back of a truck, doing my best to represent things, but the free roll is looking good. Buggy's moving smoothly. Oh, and we got a little bit of spin right there by Firefly. They just went 360. Looks like Roadrunner able to pass. Try and get you as much information as we can right there by Firefly, but just kind of out of nowhere right before the stop sign. Just a weird rotation for Firefly there. Looks like they lost their hatch, Elena was saying. Really hate to see that. We'll give you updates. Yeah, Roadrunner is coming into the chute, though.
Nice turn by Roadrunner.
Roadrunner looking good, coming up into Hill 3. Firefly lost their hatch, took a little spin. We will give you an update on that as soon as we can. So, CIA Women C all alone on this back hills. Audrey Lambert trucking on Hill 3. Very nice push-up. We are at 1:47 seconds according to my very unofficial timing. The shove goes there to Hill 4. Indy Lee coming up Hill 4 here on this first official heat of extended bonus race day. Indy Lee shoving up Hill 4. Kind of look like ants from up here a little bit far out, but we are able to see Indy Lee coming through there. Looks like Apex may not know about Firefly spin. I don't think there is that much audio here on the back hills, so the Apex pushers looking maybe a little bit confused. And here we go, Hill 4, Indy Lee coming here through. You see the Hill 5 pusher, Pauline Zhang, getting hyped, getting warmed up. And let's see, people all gather. Maybe that is Hill 5. Gee whiz. Coming up, getting close to that finish line here. We're crossing over 2 minutes, 40 seconds by the look on my watch. Cheers from the CIA crew. And coming across that finish line at about a 2:46 and change, roughly. So, again, we'll try and get you word from Fly. Not sure if any imagery of that was up on the live stream. Was looking like a very normal, run-of-the-mill free roll, and then Hatch just went off for Apex, took a bit of a spin. Hate to see that.
Did you say the hatch came off first and then spin happened, Will?
I believe so. It happened quickly. Yeah, it sounds like that's what people are nodding their heads.
And if I remember correctly about Firefly, she's a reverse trike buggy, and braking in a reverse trike buggy with one, I don't know where their brakes are in that buggy, but it can, braking at a speed like that is really difficult, and totally could have been, like, she could have felt her hatch getting loose and then tried to brake, and that caused the spin. Like, that makes total sense. But EMS is up there right now. I'm sure they're just doing a routine evaluation, and I'm hoping everything's okay, and if she's a senior, she's got another race to do today or tomorrow. And on a high note.
Yeah, and it did look, at least there was a spin, the hatch did come off, but the buggy didn't go into the curb. It kind of did the spin in the road and was able to stay there. So it didn't look like there was too much of impact or anything. So definitely a scary moment, but all things considered, from what I was able to see, nothing too heavy in terms of impact or anything like that. So here we are, it's 40-something already. Plenty of excitement. We are not on WRCT, so we can say whatever the hell we want, which is pretty cool. Try not to get that vulgar, but thank you everybody for joining. We're, I think, on a Discord too. I don't know. People can ask us questions or something. I don't really know how this works, but hope you're all having fun. I'm having fun.
I think so.
Again, the heats are kind of split up between genders, mixed and all around that. So most normal race day you will ever see, but a race day nonetheless, which is great after kind of all the craziness of last weekend.
Cool. Is it okay if we walk down today?
Yeah. Yep, just a quick update. Looks like Roadrunner went through drops with no problem, and yes, from the sounds of it, 2:45 to 2:50 women's C team time, looking pretty fast for CIA. The Hill 1 was definitely a lot closer than I think we were expecting down here.
Yeah, that was really surprising to me.
So this isn't the stuff that's going out to YouTube right now is not the stuff in my ear. It's the speaker. Is that correct?
Thank you. Just getting some info on some updated rosters from CIA. We are doing this by the seat of our pants. Shout out to this is how they used to do it back in the day. Again, I assume if you're tuning in here, you've heard of Shoot the Shit, our podcast and all that good stuff. But there is a pretty fun episode from season 4. I don't know. They all blend together. Talking with the people who used to do the broadcast from the lead and follow trucks, and having gone around the course a couple times doing this, I can say it is exhilarating. Unlike anything I've ever done in my broadcast career, so that's cool. Also, shout out to anyone who's ever done the lead or follow truck auction. This is super cool, getting to see the course from that perspective. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I haven't done buggy, but really being able to see just how fast those buggies are hauling in the free roll and being as close as you are to them in the chute and seeing that action is worth every penny. So do that auction in 368 days or whatever.
Here comes Firefly.
Oh,
They're looking okay in there. They're driving up in the follow car right now.
Yeah, something I didn't really get to appreciate in my time here as a mechanic was I never actually got to see a buggy free rolling live until like this year. I spent all my time, down in the tents or on the hills or whatever, and never actually got to see what we do, even though I've been doing it for the last 4 years. 7 minutes to the next seat, they just restarted the timer.
Okay, cool. So it looks like a little bit of a delay then, which makes sense because of the spin there. But yeah, hoping to get more of a word, but it sounds like everything was looking all right coming up the back hills there. So good to hear that. Definitely one you may want to, like Brian mentioned, things are being filmed, and so we will have footage of the races available eventually. So that'll be cool. And I see Firefly here coming up in the follow truck. Driver sitting in the back of the truck. Got to be a little bit weird hearing me say this. Sorry.
What? Do you have your phone on?
We're at 6 minutes right here, but looks like driver standing up, getting out of the truck all right. It's good to hear there. That doesn't seem like anything too severe happened. Shout out to EMS for as well lending their support things. By getting carted out, driver walking behind. Looks like they are doing fine. Mechanics moving the buggy along there as well. So that is nice to know, nice to see, nice to hear, nice to be here on a nice-ish Saturday morning. I mean, it's Pittsburgh, so what can you do? Almost 7 a.m. It's about 45 degrees, cloudy, so it's nippy out, but the winds are low. I don't think we'll see the sun for several days is what the forecast is, but again, it's Pittsburgh. But it is dry. That's the most important part here, and we are able to roll. We are going to keep rolling again. Light delay, just dealing with that spin. But up next in the second heat will be SDC Men's D and Avarice rolling alone. So that'll be cool and neat to see. And then we'll keep moving right on. I don't know if times are going to be put on CMUBuggy.org. I assume so. I probably should have read the email Brian sent, but hey, one thing at a time, folks.
Yeah, just if you guys are wondering at home what it sort of looks like today, we've got maybe half the teams bringing out trucks, half the teams opting not to go for the trucks, even though it's race day. But it's definitely buzzing down here. It doesn't feel quite like race day without the crowd and sort of being as early as it is, but the energy is definitely here over a normal rolls.
And so we do have official, unofficial times CIAC there with a 246.81. So nice work out of them. So you can see these times .org. So thank you to all the fine folks that happened. You know, mentioning right down there, you have an interesting kind of smattering of and tents. People starting to trickle out here onto the hills into the chute to watch. You know you're a hardcore Buggy enthusiast if you're made it back out here, but also do want to shout out a lot of us at the BAA who came back to Pittsburgh this week to be able to help to make this happen. I know Brian will be in and out of the broadcast doing a lot of work trying to make this stream happen, but he did a tremendous amount of work. A lot of BAA folks, a lot of CMU staff folks here. I think we got the number one Cochrane Ford trucks back out here, which is great. I was going to have to be in the back of Connor Hayes' hatchback, which, while exhilarating, this is a lot nicer than that. Sorry, Connor. So yeah, we're having fun. Thank you all for joining us here. And we should be just a few minutes out from Avarice coming out for SDCD. Again, this is going to be the first of 2 days. We'll be back again doing it tomorrow. I won't be. I'll be walking in Memphis, as that one guy once sang. But someone else will, and that'll be great too. They'll do a wonderful job. But excited to be here with you doing an old school, wacky, weird broadcast here through the CMU Buggy Alumni YouTube, Discord, who knows? Hopefully someone's hearing this. It's not just me talking into the void, but even if not, that never stopped me before. Just a couple minutes out here, so who may just be joining in the first heat. Firefly from Apex A lost the hood and spun in the free roll. Looked like it may have been a spin due to braking. Driver was fine, Buggy was fine, and we moving right along here. Excuse me, sorry, there's no cough button on these, so you're just getting live and unfiltered. SDC Men's D in Avarice coming up. According to the plan,
You should just see what SDC's put together for their D team. They're actually floating the Buggy, like they've heated or treated the wheels. So
yeah.
They're gonna need today because it's
it's chilling.
warm.
I'm wondering if that's because I was trying to mess with the preview thing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, SDC is out.
Yeah.
Chunjet Ong is pushing Hill 1 right here. One of those interesting cases where, right, they are the only Buggy in the heat. No one to really push them. No one to really, well, pacing's illegal, but you know what I mean. So here they go, coming into that 1-2 transition here. A little bit of a slow shove from 1 to 2. It is a D team. Evan Sen going to be the pusher here, coming around into Hill 2, taking that nice and deep. Almost lost the Buggy a little bit, and a pretty soft, gentle shove there into Hill 2, but they are along into the free roll. Avarice, the Buggy, is gliding, crossing over that yellow line, getting close to the curb, crossing over the white line into those parking spots, which of course are empty because people did their jobs, barricading, keeping the roads clear. We are rolling here in the free roll. Avarice looking good, starting to curve, getting close to the stop sign. And let's see, they're going to come across the stop sign right there at about a 104. Little tiny wobble as they come here into the flags and get prepared to take the chute turn. Looking nice and clean, coming up to the second flag, that red dot, and here they are coming into the chute.
Avarice. Nice line. Little bit of a backslide, but just tiny.
Coming through pretty clean right in the middle of the chute there. Not a ton of momentum coming up into that Hill 3, so it's a pretty deep push-up for Charles Hugh, who is pushing it, but he is coming with a lot of speed. That is a ferocious, furious Hill 3, trying to get that momentum back up as he hands it off to Hill 4. Jorge Urias, the shove right there. Pretty clean transition. You can tell these are SDC pushers, well-disciplined, well-trained as they are moving fast looking Hill 4. We are now over 2 minutes, 3 seconds, so there will not be a course record here on this roll, but let's see what SDCD is able to do as they are making the 4 to the 5. It goes a little bit of a stumble by Urias as he gets it over to Hashim Al-Sharaf. He is on Hill 5. He is going fast, just in a full-on sprint through here on Hill 5, crossing over 2 minutes, 25 seconds. Not a ton of people gathered at the finish line here, but a smattering as he's coming across 2 minutes, 32 seconds, and it looks like he's going to cross right here at a 2:36 or so. Taken in right there by SDC to modest applause. Looks like maybe the rest of their team is down there working and looking on other buggies, but a nice, clean roll through there. Again, we will have a time on CMUBuggy.org. As I continue to shout out the shout-outs, shout out to all the staff and volunteers doing timing. I don't know the exact procedure, but it looks like there's like 7 people with stopwatching, and they all put their heads together and guess at what it is or something like that. I don't know. We're trying our best here, folks. We're having fun. Ben Matsky's running up and yelling at me. Yeah, all right. I'm getting insider information here. There are 2 timers for each buggy, and then those timers report to a single person to coordinate between those 2 times. And then there's a backup timer as well. We are going to, of course, do our best to have video on this so we can kind of triangulate between that as well. But these times should be pretty good. If it was good enough for Buggy for, however many, 80 of the 100 years, 90 of the 100 years, it's good enough for you all. So just be happy we're racing today. I sure am.
So am I, Will.
I sure am. Will. Avarice down here at drop, getting ready to go through the general brake test procedure. 220, 236, pretty quick time for a D team. I know unofficial, but in that ballpark. And yeah, it looks like no problems here at drops for Avarice.
Good old SDC.
Tried CMU Secure, that didn't work.
So nice roll by then. Coming up next will be Apex Women's A, Spirit Women's C. Apex Women's A, they roll in Solaris. The men's rolled in Firefly, so good news there. It seems like they should probably be able to roll fine and make it into that. Although, what is that like even just in terms of like the mechanics and the tent there? It's quick to have a turnaround with just one heat in between teams, but now on top of one heat, you also just had a buggy spin out in the free roll. What would that be like?
More duct tape on the hatch. Sounds like. That's my guess. But the thing is, when you spin, there can be, unfortunately, sometimes like traction damage on the mechanics of the buggy. So as long as it was just a hatch problem, it's probably fine, but I'm sure they're doing like a full assessment and like looking at the steering and wheels. And also, guys, when you brake in a buggy, you flatten the wheels too. So they probably should, if they broke super hard, there might be a hard flat spot on it.
But we tried the Ethernet and it kept popping up.
Yeah, we're under a minute and a half down here before the next heat. Nobody's out to the line yet. Seems like they're taking everything just as serious as they would on a normal race day, treating those wheels, smoking the buckets. Wait until the last possible second to bring things out to the line.
Yeah, we got Apex Women's A versus Spirit Women's C. Solaris for Women's A, Solaris? I don't know what the right pronunciation is. And then Invisit for Spirit Women's C. There's no cough button on this, so you get to hear every sip of water I take, every sniffle of my nose. Sweet.
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as you think it is, actually.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we don't hear much.
Yeah.
Well, as I continue the parade of shout out to BAA. They got me this ridiculous noise canceling Bluetooth headset thing with a microphone. I feel like I'm like a NASCAR crew chief or something. This thing is heavy duty. This is legitimate.
Sorry to cut you off, Will, but we're at 10 seconds till the start of the heat. Both buggies are floating at the line. Mechanics are running to get out of the way. Just in time, it looks like. 3, 2, 1.
Person on the start line to join the Discord.
And both teams are off.
He's in the disco call.
This should be interesting. This is our first heat with the same gender. They're looking close on Hill 1. Obviously, you think Apex and A-Team having a bit of advantage, but Spirit, always strong push teams, seem to be about a half Buggy length behind as we come into that 1-2 transition. Spirit making up a little bit of ground, so we might have a little bit of an interesting time in the free roll here. Apex makes the handoff. Spirit about half a second behind here, but some separation now as we go into the Hill 2 push. And this is Audrey Sotano pushes it off for Apex and Juliet Brown for Spirit behind them. About 5 Buggy lengths separate them, and then you can see Solaris now starting to get a little bit of separation, but Invisid does not want to go too much further behind right here as we are into the free roll. Neither team taking a super tight line, so some separation here, but again, between an A and a C team, you might expect a bit more coming up to that stop sign. Solaris about a 107, about a 109 for Invisid. Solaris going a little bit wider, but again, these two buggies still fairly close to one another, maybe a second of separation between the two. They each just hit their second shoot flag, so here we go into the shoot. Solaris first, then Invisid.
And Invisid is back on track. So Invisid actually had a fishtail, but she's still going.
Yeah, lost a lot of momentum. Looks like Hill 3 is going to have to sprint into the chute and pick it up at about the end of the hay bales. Solaris, though, able to come through a solid Hill 3 pickup there. That's going to be a tough Hill 3 for Invisid. Kat Ramage, again, it looked like they maybe had a spin. They recovered from the fishtail, but about all the momentum was gone. Apex A makes the 3-4 transition to Sabazo. Eliana have not been able to see up over Hill 3 on Hill 4.
Yeah, Spirit C had to do a Hill 2.5, as they call it. I'm very familiar with it from rolls myself.
And the transition coming out now 4 to 5. I see someone kicking a parking meter for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. That's not part of the race, but hopefully that doesn't get into the heads of the pusher. Hill 5 here, Katie Rock, looking solid as a rock coming up. We're just crossing over 2 minutes, 40 seconds, coming up to that finish line here for Apex Women's A. Apex team gathered around. You hear the cheers, trying to get her on, pushing her, trying to get a sub 3 minute time. Hand on the push bar, coming across a 2:55 or so. We'll give you that official time when we are able to see it. Trying to catch a glance of Spirit in the back there. They are still trucking up that Hill 5. Nelly Kupfer, the Hill 5 pusher, is there with the buggy. So they are going to be able to finish, even with that unfortunate fishtail there in the chute. But big props to the driver for being able to recover, keep it going, and that Hill 3 pusher for really being able to make it so that they can finish the race. You see their team up there cheering. Buggy coming towards the finish line. Getting right in, right close. A tough back hill at about a 3:41. Excuse me.
Hey, they finished.
A lot of resilience shown right there by Spirit. Just able to recover from that and then push a buggy with essentially no momentum. Like you said, a hill 2.5. But they're through, and they finish.
If buggy team members or anything, it's resilient. Solaris coming to drops now. Hopefully they can get through there cleanly and lock that time in for their women's A team.
Yeah, that was about 250, I think. We'll give you updates again. You can see all the times and all that good stuff at cmubuggy.org.
No problems there for Solaris whatsoever. So, barring any other unforeseen circumstances, spot safeties, or anything like that, they should be good to go.
And we're getting a time in there. Can't trust me about anything. Apex A at 2:54.91. So that puts them second place behind CIAC. So CIAC still sitting in first place on the women's side of things with a 246.81. SDCD 236.77, sitting in first place now with the men's.
Even I have the headphones in.
We're about a minute 45 out from the next heat, and since I don't have any other way to communicate to you or to Brian, I will have to go once this heat starts for the next couple heats, as I'm pushing in heat 6. So I got to go warm up and get to my hill and everything. But I'll be here through the start of the next heat.
No.
Sweet. And big cheers right there. Yeah. I'll look forward to calling your race. Big cheer there from Drops. Is it just because Spirit passed, or did you catch anything happening there?
No, they just seem very excited to have passed Drops. Maybe they were worried about that with this buggy. I know this is one of their older buggies in Visid, but yeah, it seems like they passed no problems, and people seem very happy about that.
Spirit looked great at design comp.
They're being aggressively yelled at to clear Hill 1 as we're within 1 minute from the next heat starting.
Oh, wow. They are really... What are we doing gun to gun today? 6? 7?
7 minutes gun to gun, which I think is 2 or 3 minutes faster than normal.
Yeah.
So we're moving quick.
Yeah, we're doing 10 at least last weekend. This one going to be CIA Women's D in lane 1 with Kingfisher, and Fringe C with Blackbird in lane 2.
Can you guys hear me on the...
Got some great builds in this heat.
I kind of hear you there, Brian. Is a little choppy.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out if I can get a mic that doesn't pick up the background noise of the speakers, but also can chime in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Oh, and Fringe a little late to the line, but CIA moving up, no problems.
Yeah, let him roll anyway.
Yeah, so we'll see. There may be a 5-second violation there. That one a lot harder to tell without instant replay. Of course, we will have footage for judges' review and all of that, just not as much for you. Fringe men see ahead, but not crazy far ahead there on Hill 1. It is interesting seeing some of these mixed gender heats where there is and is not separation. By the time they got to Hill 2, though, pretty clear bit of distance being set between Fringe C, CIA Women's D, as we are now out into the free roll. Blackbird, decidingly not black-painted buggy, taking a real tight line up to the curb. Kingfisher staying pretty far outside of that white parking line as they're finally now coming in a little bit tight to the curb. Again, probably 2 or 3 seconds separating. I started my stopwatch a little bit late, but we'll be giving you a stop sign split in a second. It's about a 107 or so for Blackbird, and then second and a half later maybe for Kingfisher. Blackbird through the first shoot flag, and wow, the buggies are getting a little bit close right there coming in the shoot flags. There was a bit of a wobble right there. Looked like Blackbird was maybe trying to take... Yeah, Blackbird was maybe trying to take... Oh, wow! Kingfisher just passed Blackbird coming into the chute, just took a really tight line in on the hay bale. I don't know what the heck happened there, but CIA Women's D is ahead of Fringe Men C coming into Hill 3. Blackbird picked up just ahead of Kingfisher. Hill 3 making a little bit of distance back up here on that 3-4 transition, but Blackbird staying just ahead, and CIA Women's D makes 3-4 handoff before Fringe Men C. They're neck and neck right here, so we'll see what happens here on the back hills. You imagine the men's push team going to be a little bit faster, but wow, that was...
terrific roll by CIA there. Like, what a line. What an expert safe paths in the chute. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, I hope that video was on stream, and if not, y'all have to watch video of that because it was crazy. Both teams transitioning 4-2-5. Oh, it was blue shift, that's why. Anyways, here we go. I don't know, I'm just reading what they put in front of me. But Hill 5 is looking close, looking exciting. Kingfisher just a bit ahead here. You see CIA going crazy, cheering at the finish line. They're coming through. just ahead, about half a buggy length. Are they going to be able to upset Fringe Men's C? Things are close. About half a buggy length ahead. CIA coming across, and then Fringe just behind, looking right at about 3-minute time for both. So we'll get that fully updated. My apologies
That's
to
awesome.
misidentifying the buggy, reading what's on there, but that was one of the most fascinating races I have ever seen. That shoot pass was unbelievable. Sorry kind of cutting you off there in the middle of that just because the back hills were crazy, but if you want to talk a little bit more about that, Sophie.
So this is what happened. So Blue Shift was just doing her thing, coming down, looking great. And then I saw Blackbird behind her, and Blackbird took it really tight. Like Blue Shift was doing her thing, and she, I think, maybe takes a wider turn just has at baseline. So it was a perfect opportunity for Blackbird to come in and just zoomed past. It was awesome. And both pickups were great by both Hill 3 pushers, too.
Yeah, that was a really, really cool race. I'm excited to watch that one again. And I know Nate subbed out there. Do we have someone at the start line?
We do have someone at the start here.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
On Nate's
that
phone.
sounds like Ben Matsky.
It might be, in fact. Indeed.
All right, who knows? Well, whoever you are, you sound great.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Warming up. Nice to be at the start line. Seeing things that I don't normally get to see on the day of.
Me too. I got a great seat down here. I'm down here. I'm bundled up in pink, and I'm like seeing both flags. It's awesome.
Where are you actually positioned?
I am I'm like on the side closer to the Panther Hollow Bridge, and just immediate. I can see both the back hills and the free roll at the same time. This is nice.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
New shot for a new Timewood location.
Well, that was some thrilling stuff, and this is fun with these tight gun-to-guns. Next up, allegedly, is Sig Nu Men's B in Bungarus Crate, SDC Women's C in Lust. Hopefully I don't say it's the wrong buggy. You really can Ron Burgundy me with this stuff, but alas. I will say, too, like, it makes sense why we sit up in the booth, but this is pretty sweet calling it from the lead truck, NGL. I would be open to doing this again. You get me a monitor down here, you get me, the talk back to Viewpoint. Why not? It is really freaking cool to see the free roll, and there's a delightful sensation right when you get past the stop sign. For safety or something, the truck just accelerates and like zooms down into the chute, and it's a very cool kind of effect of just feeling yourself like whipping around in that truck as you see the buggies coming there. So again, I assume you're all alumni with money if you're listening to this. Definitely participate in the lead truck auction. My life has been forever changed this morning, so yours can too next year.
It's almost as good as driving a real buggy.
Yeah, you know what? For me, I think it might be better than driving a buggy.
By the way, I just want to take the quick blame here. I gave Will a printed roster, and there's a very good chance that I screwed up either team buggies or anything else. This was all done last minute, late last night.
All good. Thank you, Brian, for everything you've done to get this up and off the ground. It was funny. Someone was joking in the Discord, like, this is how we used to do it. Like, yes, but also the fact it's not just audio. You're coordinating all these live streams and then backup footage to be able to record and use for safety. It's really a hell of a thing to pull together in less than a week.
Good morning,
So
Natalie.
thank you, Brian, for all of that.
How are you?
This has
It
a
actually
2020
feels
Raceday
like a race
vibes
day. I
all
didn't think
about
it
it.
was going to, so.
Yeah. But
2020 race day.
a little bit happier, perhaps. More joyful.
We'll
Just a
get a
bit.
chance to see it later, hopefully.
10,
I have my live stream
9,
set up now, so hopefully
8,
we'll have some shoot footage
7,
for people.
6,
Just as a
four,
heads up, I don't know that it's going to be a problem. This guy who's
two,
strolling down the street is
one,
like very much
ready?
on something and yelling at
And
people,
on.
calling them honkies.
All right, here we are. So heat number 5,
starts heading towards
Bungarus
the
Crate
road, I'm just-
versus
they're-
Lust.
don't
Again,
know
you
what's
would
gonna
expect the men's push team to have some separation here, but if we saw anything in that
Just wanna
last
let
heat,
you
it's
know
that you
it may be a
really
slow
cannot
reaction time.
take anything for granted here. Crate a good bit of separation though this time versus Lust here. And that makes sense. A B team versus a C team. Sam Curry, Hill 2, looking really strong, holding on to that push bar, going past the line,
So
and
far,
a
he's standing on the
nice
sidewalk.
deep
He's not
shove.
even looked at the road
Crate,
yet, so I don't think
one
he'll
of
be
the
a
prettier buggies out there, coming in pretty wide into the free roll. Hill 2 shove off just happening now for SDCC, so this will be a difficult one to call as there is a lot of separation, definitely the most separation of any heat we've seen today, which is what you might expect with the
So
mixing
was the
of
Fringe buggy
genders
just slow and
in
then they
these
passed me
heats. So
inside,
here
or, like,
comes
what
Bungarus
happened?
Crate around, looking good, hitting that stop sign. I'm fumbling for the stopwatch. It's like a minute, we call that like a minute 1 or so as they come up to the first shoot flag, looking good. They are all alone as they come up into that second shoot flag.
Bungarus
This thing is
Crate,
hauling.
making a turn.
Wow.
Their alumni's watching.
Looks so fast.
Back another year. Little fishtail, but nice through. And here comes Lust.
Look at how.
Oh, Lust,
Whoa,
little wobble,
hold on to
but
it.
he's all right. What a pretty buggy.
Really deep Hill 3 pickup for Crate. A lot of momentum there. It looked like maybe he got smoked, but it might have just been like, hey, this buggy's rolling. I don't need to do more than I need to. Hand off 3 to 4 there. Hill 4 going really fast. Will Fleming for Sig Nu Men's B. Good looking team coming out of them for a B team. I like to see this. Hill 4 really fast. As we come there, they're about to make that transition with the 4 to the 5, shoved off. Really good technique. Nice pushing being done here by Sig Nu. Little bit of a wobble by the Hill 5. Joe McLaughlin there, getting back now into a straight line. Fighting, coming up to that that finish line. We're at 2 minutes, 20 seconds right here. Buggy coming through. Looking to get the hands on the push bar. Just barely does. That's going to be close at 2:29 as they pass. There was a little bit of a stumble reaching for that push bar. It looked like Joe McLaughlin might have missed it, but able to get the hands on. We'll have to make sure it wasn't a fraction of a second late. Still waiting on SDC Women's C as we cross over 2 minutes, 50 seconds. See there, Hill 5 coming up, Sophia Gu. Couple folks still left at that finish line cheering her on as they come to the finish line. Hand on the push bar. Going across at about a 3:07. Again, we will give the official time when we know the official time.
So both these buggies had a little wobble going in. So I don't know if guys who could see the start line, if there was, they were floating them, because you could tell teams are using heat today, which is awesome because it's race day, and I'm glad that teams came out and are using race day speed.
We'll get that time for Sig Nu B. Gonna think it'll be the top time of the day. On the men's side, the time to beat at 2:36.77. On the women's side, team to beat right now is CIAC with a 2:46.81. Again, there's no prelims. These rolls are for all the marbles. Again, the genders are split up between both days. So it'll be interesting, like I was mentioning, in some of these last few heats, a couple heavy hitters on the men's with I can't read. A couple heavy hitters with the men's with Pika A, CIAA, last year's reigning champions, and then also we'll have SDC Women's A in the final heat of the day. Watermarks for the teams running tomorrow, trying to get their own victories. Weather-wise, about the same tomorrow, still pretty chilly in the morning, so, always something to wonder if there would be a weather advantage between the 2 days, but it looks like won't be too much variation there. Maybe several degrees warmer. Kind of just depends on how the clock works and the heat and all that.
Well, we're getting a bit of a breeze down at the start line now, and it's cooling things down. 2 minutes to the next race.
Thank you. I will say it is not like nice out. It is chilly.
It's not.
My little
Yeah.
hands are cold. But they are racing. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, we were trying to think earlier if this was one of the, or where this was on the cold race day list. We were sure it's not the coldest, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I mean, last year I remember the second day being really cold for some reason. I think I may just not have brought a good enough jacket. But I was quite,
Yeah, and the
quite
booth
cold.
turns into a bit of a wind tunnel.
Yeah. So that's fun. But, you know, all in all, we did have that initial.
Doing a great job. I mean, all teams are doing a great job. They're doing a great job. But like, I'm super impressed. I cannot get over that pass, and I hate passes in the chute. But I cannot get over how good that pass was.
That felt surreal seeing that. Like, it was so beautifully done. In a way you really, really rarely see. It was like, wow, that was scrambled my brain for a second of like, wait, they weren't the lead Buggy, were they?
10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. They're off.
So we are CIA Men C in lane 1. Apex beat Firefly. And I don't know what happened. Firefly just swerved. Yeah, driver pulled off to the side, so something weird happened there with Firefly. Goldfinch, though, looking good. CIAC, the transition. Hill 1 to Hill 2. Gavin Lynn taking it there. So unfortunate. I don't know what happened there with Firefly. That was the one that spun earlier, so maybe an issue with that. Nice deep push into Hill 2, though, for Goldfinch. Gavin Lynn. And we're off into the free roll. Goldfinch going to be all alone. Again, Firefly pulling over there. Unfortunate to see, but maybe not shocking, just given they had an issue earlier. And as soon as they started rolling, something maybe felt wrong. The driver pulls over.
Guys, we've got video in the chute.
Cool. And we are at under 1 minute right there. I think that's the first sub 1 minute. Very unofficial stop sign time right there by Goldfinch as they go past the first chute flag. So they may be looking to take now the top time of the day on the men's side as they go through the second chute flag and begin the turn.
Nice job by Goldfinch. Guys, also, we've got live footage in the chute, apparently. So if you're listening on Discord, try checking YouTube.
And really nice into Hill 3 there. Good pickup. 1 shove, 2 shove, and 3. Kind of couldn't tell. Yeah, he's going to make it 4 shoves into that transition. Looked like it almost could have been a 3 shove, Hill 3. So nice stuff here by the CIA Men's C team coming up the back hills. On Hill 4, Jordan Fonsing looking to make that handoff to their Hill 5 pusher, Nate Klein, looking for the top time of the day on the men's side of things, crossing over 2:04 right here as they approach that finish line. So going to be a pretty nice time out of a C team, especially for CIA Men's C. You see the whole team there gathered up near the finish line, crossing over 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Nate Klein coming in there. I am trying to make out when they'll actually get over the push line and finish line. It's right then about a 2:26. Excuse me. 2:26 or so there for CIA, which again, Sig Nu B, the top time was a 2:28.8. So it looks like they probably move into first place on the men's side. So good for them. Ben, I don't know if you have anything more there from the start line and Firefly.
Yeah, I'm standing next to them. They're extracting the driver. They got at some crates. She's doing all right. So it was an intentional pull-off. Looked like it was messing with the steering. So it seems like it might be something going on there. Giving the team some space to figure out what's going on, make sure the driver's okay. And I'll see if I can get more for you when they all finish up.
Cool. Thank you to sideline reporter Ben Matsky. Yeah, so we are just cruising right through things. Coming up next will be Sig FC with Hydra. Sig F's first roll of the day. And we are really just moving quickly through these. Again, 15 total heats going to be going today. I assume approximately that number tomorrow, maybe a bit fewer. I wasn't a math major. So this will be the 7th with Sig Men C. And all in all, some impressive driving. That looked really nice there in terms of just like Goldfinch and the way it was maneuvering through the chute. I thought that was just a really nice kind of line that they took there.
It absolutely was.
I figure out. Oh, there's my phone. It is very weird doing this from the truck instead of the booth, where you can kind of be like organized with your stuff or whatever. Just watching my water bottle roll around in the back of a beautiful Ford F-150. Thank you to #1 Cochran Ford. I don't even need to thank them. Like, this isn't anything official, but sometimes it's just fun to read sponsor copy. I'm into that.
Maybe I'll go out and buy a Ford F-150. I think it'll suit me.
I think it would too. Yeah. I live by the rule. You don't need a truck, but you need a friend with a truck. Which I guess then kind of turns into the tragedy of the commons or whatever. But I have a friend with a truck, so that's good. In case anybody wants to. I do have friends. Okay.
2 minutes to the next race.
There's a lot of talking.
It is funny. The next race?
Was that 10, Ben? Ben 10? Is that a show on Disney? I'm not sure. We'll try and get confirmation on that.
So I just want to say, while we got time, Goldfinch is the buggy that just rolled, right?
Yeah. I mean, supposedly. I don't know.
Yeah, she took a terrific but a really interesting line. Like, she takes the inner part of the chute coming in and then kind of gets out wide, almost, and like, it's a line that it's the first time I saw today, and it's like the perfect arc that probably like perfectly conserves momentum. And again, you can just really tell that CIA does their homework and really pays attention to their course walks and dedication to their line instead of just going in and winging it, which happens more than you think. So, but also we're preaching to like really buggy gurus here, so I feel like everyone already knows that.
No, it looked really good, and in a way, I'm just kind of having my baby's first buggy moment or whatever. Like, it is very different being in the truck and experiencing it, and I think compared to being on the broadcast, I really can at least for the first time, like, notice some of these nuances in just different ways than I previously seen. It looks like we have one buggy onto the course. Not sure if who's on. Ben, are you still down there?
I'm back. Looks like 5, 4, 3. Oh, they're not going to start. The driver's hatch is not on.
Oh.
Yeah, the driver was sticking their hand out of the buggy through the hatch, being like, "Don't start the race." So we're still at the line. All right, they're going now. A little bit of probably a 5-second DQ, but they're going to race anyways.
Sweet. So yeah, I just started the timer, so we'll go ahead and take it off of when they started, not necessarily when the actual clock started, so they can get some idea of a true time. It's a good looking Hill 1 there. Unfortunate with the hatch not fully being on. Transition from the 1 to the 2. Adelio Taboada kind of getting a little bit behind the buggy there, not getting the full momentum on that push into the Hill 2, but they're off. They are down. Hydra rolling there, coming out pretty wide into the free roll, now crossing over the double yellow line. Oh, going over the white line, and then a little bit of just kind of a weird wiggle or jolt. Maybe she spotted some sort of a bump or a pothole, but some funky motion in that we haven't necessarily seen in some of the other free rolls. And they're really looking like a pretty good time. There's around a 59-second stop sign. Again, there will be a 5-second violation but you still want to see him get around the course. Coming up to that shoot flag and another little wobble. Looks like maybe the shoot flag was a little too close for comfort or something for the driver.
All right, Hydra. Let's see what you got. Looking cute. Made it through.
And yeah, a couple weird wiggles there through the free roll, but a nice shoot turn. Fairly good momentum. Here comes Hill 3. Jonathan Youngblood picking up about 3 buggy lengths past the crosswalk, getting that second crosswalk. A little bit of a wobble on his third push there, looking to be about a 5 push Hill 3 as he transitions to Luka DM, no relation to Luka Doncic, on Hill 4. Really nice, steady Hill 4 right in the middle of the road as he approaches, looks to get to Ian Kelly for that Hill 5 as we have crossed over 2 minutes. So not looking like they will be among one of the top times on the men's side, even without the DQ. But let's see here for Sig Ep Men C as they come towards the finish line, crossing over 2 minutes, 15 seconds. This is Hill 5. Wow. This Hill 5 is looking fast, though. Ian Kelly coming up to that finish line. You see the brothers of Sigma Phi Epsilon cheering him on. Over 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Coming up to that finish line. Hand on the push bar. Coming across about a 2:32 there. Again, that's from when they started, not from when the initial starting gun was. So good on them, getting right around a 2:30 sometime. Pretty nice for a men's C team. But again, looked like an all but definite 5-second violation there.
It's okay. Hopefully they had fun, and that's what matters.
At this point, yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully their hatch is okay, too.
Yeah, definitely good to
And
see
the
the driver
right.
sort of having that. Good to see the driver having that awareness, and good to see the mechanics and the pushers sort of knowing the situation and not starting to try to push the buggy anyways. Everyone seemed to sort of have their head in the game and know what was going on.
You can always hear the driver like, stop. You hear from the ground. And you got to listen to driver always.
So yeah, just run down some of the times. CIAC sitting in first in men's with a 2:27.39. Sig Nu B a 2:28.8. SDC D 2:36.77. Sig Ep C 2:46.11. Fringe C 3:02.75, and Apex A spun in the free roll, so did not place. And first place on the women's side, a 2:46.81 CIAC. Apex A, a 2:54.91. CIA D, SDC C, Spirit C bringing up the rear there, and Apex B did not get to roll. So I guess that was, Apex B did not get to roll there, just stopping on Hill 1. They were in Firefly, which was the buggy that spun earlier. Looked like there was something maybe with the steering or whatever. The driver just decided to stop while they were ahead.
It was probably the first and only time a push team that I'm on will end up at the top of any leaderboard for any amount of time.
Hey, savor it while you can.
Looks like Sig
So
got
we are-
dropped.
They passed or they failed?
They passed. They got through.
Woohoo! Good job, Sigat.
Coming up next.
And we've got more fans down here. Love to see it.
Yeah, it is nice to see people trickling in. I mean, I get it. It's early. It's cold. It's gray. I guess this is approximately more normal carnival time than last weekend, but even this is kind of early and 100% miserable weather-wise. It's a great time. We're having fun. Smiles on all the faces here at the corner of Tech and Fruit. We'll have SAEA in this next Racing Spirit Women's D. SAEA rolling Barbie. Really lovely looking buggy. Nice rolling buggy. So I feel like SAEA is always one of those teams where, not necessarily going to contend for the top time, but sometimes they got some real hosses on that push team and can do some interesting things to get at least trophy position maybe.
Yeah, I fully expect them to put up the top time of the day on the men's side so far in this heat. We're at about a minute here.
Oh, gee whiz. Time flies when you're having fun.
And when they reduce the gun-to-gun by 3 minutes.
Yeah, right. That too. Getting
Yeah, no
strapped
Buggy's out of
back.
the line yet.
Alrighty. So waiting. Looks like one bite. Is that Barbie coming out there?
Yep, Barbie is headed to the line. We're at about 25 seconds till the start. Spirit D is moving this Buggy as fast as they possibly can to get to the line on time.
Let's go, Spirit.
10 seconds. Just barely out of there in time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
All right, and here the teams are off. Sounds like people are starting to wake up a little bit at the bottom of the hill. You can see some cheers. Very fast-looking hill one by Giovanni Coralupi on hill one. A lot of separation between these two teams, as you'd imagine, between a men's A and a women's D. Transition from 1 to 2 there. Little bit of hesitation on the pickup on hill 2 for SAE men's A. Not quite the perfect timing to catch it in stride, but chasing that Buggy and a very deep hill 2 push, maybe a Buggy's length before that crosswalk there. Barbie looking good coming into the free roll, going wide and coming close to some potholes, a little bit of a swerve to get off them, and now coming in close to that curb on the near side of the free roll. I do not have eyes on Kingpin. That's the type of separation that we have here. But Barbie rolling well. Although, let's see, when they hit that stop sign, that looks like maybe a 101, 102 according to my unofficial time, which would put them a little bit slower than the top times we have been seeing. So we'll see what happens on those back hills through that first shoot flag. I still do not have eyes on Kingpin. Hopefully it is
Barbie making her
just
turn.
slowly. I hear it made it over
Barbie
hill
made
too.
through. And here comes Kingpin.
I just need the core.
Making
So
her turn.
Barbie coming up on hill 3. Real solid push up
Beautiful.
there, pick up there. 1 push, 2 push, 3 push, 4.
Beautiful turn
And
by
Kingpin
Kingpin.
Not the right thing.
making up a little bit of a space in that shoot turn. Handed
And
off.
wow, hill 3 for Kingpin had a big distance to cover. She made it though.
Hill 4 going here for Barbie. Andrew Johnson making that handoff to hill 5 as we cross over the 2-minute 13 seconds mark. And hill 5 looking very fast. James Kramer, this is kind of what we talked about with SAE. They do have some very fast, very strong men on their push team. Looking at that finish line, crossing over 2-minute 30 seconds. The Buggy crosses at about a 2:31. So again there, may not quite be fast enough to take the first place away from CIAC. So your dominance may be intact for a little bit longer yet, Nate. Looking here for Kingpin coming up there on hill 5. You hear the cheers from the Spirit team members. Again, congratulations to them celebrating 40 years of racing.
Kingpin looks really good down here.
And let's see,
They've got a
cheers still
good
coming
driver
us.
in
We're
there.
over 3 minutes, 17 seconds. Finally catching eyes of hill 5. So she approaches near the finish line. And hand coming up on that push bar, going across that line, getting caught by the team at about a 3-minute 32-second mark. So again, we'll put them near the bottom, but it looks like they may have beat their C team time, if you believe that.
Yeah, Spirit looked terrific down here. Their driver did a superb job, and Barbie also looked real cute and pink. But like I said, the line by Spirit was perfect, and their rollout was insane. And I'm hoping Zook does the same for them on their A squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think something interesting to consider with that, right? Like, we could not see Kingpin at all in the free roll, and the fact that, at least was able to catch a glimpse of it coming out of the chute behind Barbie, I think, like you say, is just kind of a testament to how good that chute turn was.
All right, we got drones flying in the chute now. So stay tuned
Spirit.
for that footage.
Really excited again about passing drops.
Wherever
It's always exciting to pass drops, but this is a level of excitement I don't normally see during drops.
It's very
Barbie's about
exciting.
to go.
But
I will say CSAEA coming in at a 231.7, so my stopwatching is not awful, but that keeps them, puts them at third place. SAEA, so CIAC, Nate, shout out to yourself. You are still sitting there in first place on the men's side with a 227.39.
I'll savor every heat of it that it lasts.
Right now, I just don't.
It may
it looks
be
like
about to be
Barbie
over.
has
Yeah, your B team will be coming up here in this next 10th heat of the day. So, but again, weird things have happened before. I'm not a doctor by any means.
I'm not rooting against our B team by any means, so I hope they dust us.
Yeah, if you look there, though, Spirit D beat Spirit C by about 11 seconds. Trying to remember back on that heat with Spirit C, if something happened that maybe slowed them down, but that's pretty weird to have your C team 11 seconds faster than your D team. Oh, the fishtail. Cool. Thank you.
They fishtailed in the chute, if I remember. It looks like
That's
we're about
right.
50 seconds here.
Yeah.
That's right. It was the fishtail, and they lost speed. I've been talking so long and can't stop talking. I don't have time for anything to process to memory. So you all are my brain. I am just a vessel for words. I don't know. I'm trying my best, everybody. I hope you are too.
I want to gas up Spirit some more. Just, again, how good those buggies look at design comp, how good they look out here.
Oh, yeah. I always like their paint job, but especially this year. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice this year. We're at almost 10 seconds here for the next heat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're starting the whole ones here.
Off they are. Sig Nu Women's A with Jaeger and Fringe Men's B in Baltic. And looking like a pretty competitive Hill 1. Baltic just now starting to separate about halfway up Hill 1. Now 3-4 buggy lengths ahead, as you might expect between these two teams. Really nice Hill 2 pickup right there by Alex Karagas, as he's taken that Hill 2 a little bit wide, shoves it right where the white line turns to the yellow double line. And Jaeger pushed off there as well. Baltic pretty quickly getting close into that curb. Sig Nu A, Jaeger following suit on the women's side, but a good-looking free roll from both these teams. Baltic starting to separate itself, but Jaeger hanging around there a little bit in the background as we approach that stop sign. Fringe Men's B, Baltic at about a 1:03, so looking like maybe a second or two off the top time. Jaeger looking good there on the women's side. They may be fighting for the top spot on the women's leaderboard coming into here, as they're looking, only about 5 buggy lengths between the two as they come past the second chute flag in the chute. And what a turn!
Yeah, they're both right. No passes. Right behind her, though.
Yeah, wow, really nice chute turns by both. And Jaeger coming up with a ton of speed into Hill 3, only about a half a buggy length behind. You imagine the push teams will separate them. A little bit of a weird crisscross between the Hill 4 pushers as the push-off there goes for Baltic, 3-4. And now the push-off going for Jaeger as well, 3-4 on the women's side. But that was beautiful and very close there through the chute. You can see the separation, of course, because of the push teams there. But I think this is going to be a very nice time for Jaeger. Definitely in the picture here on this Hill 4 as we make the 4-5 transition for Baltic. Colin Danes, 2 minute 15 seconds. And 4-5 transition made just there by Sig Nu A. We're at a 2 minute 25 second here for Baltic, trying to get into that top spot. Looks like they will just miss out of it, going over 2 minutes 33. Colin Danes coming across to a gaggle of cheering Fringe team members at about 2:35. And Jaeger now coming in close to that finish line as we get to 2:45. Looking to get the hand on the push bar. It is done successfully, coming across at about a 2:54. So maybe not top times from either, but some really nice racing, some pretty stuff in the chute there. I really like what Jaeger did.
Oh, yeah. Great lines by both teams. Great pickups. Great job.
And we are just cruising through 6 more heats to go today. Hope
Awesome.
everybody's
Really
having a nice time. Go ahead.
Really enjoying the sort of the men's and women's heats together. I think it's actually giving us a lot of really interesting perspective on the different parts of the course.
I think so. I don't know if you can do the full ride, but I wait for Lena. I think there's a spot. Sorry, I'm having a conversation and broadcasting at the same time. Don't worry about it. The 10th heat coming up will be CIA B Roadrunner, Spirit B in Zoom. So that should be a fun one here. CIA Men's B, as we mentioned, trying to ascend perhaps to the top of the leaderboard. Right now, CIAC in first place on both leaderboards, men's and women's. On the men's side, a 227.39. On the women's side, a 246.81. Fringe B there coming in with a 238.27. That would put them in 5th place. And Sig Nu A, 254.59. So that would put them in 2nd place on the women's side of things. So CIAC holding on both sides. And again, it's hard to tell a lot of things on just kind of a weird, jumbled, jangled race day like this. But the fact, really speaking to the depth of CIA, obviously we haven't seen a ton of SDC and whatnot, but the fact that like CIAC on both sides is outrolling several A teams, several B teams, I think fairly impressive for them. On the women's side, a whole 20 seconds separating CIAC and SDCC. So who knows what that means, for everything else coming through. But I think just a reiteration of the level of quality, the level of class that CIA is rolling at this year. In prior years, again, you're defending champions on the men's and women's side, looking to repeat out here. But a lot of top teams still to go on this back half of these rolls. And then a whole nother day of fun and games tomorrow. Again, there are no prelims. There are no finals. All the marbles shall be claimed at the end of tomorrow. So just one shot at glory for these teams. There are still trophies. This is still race day, even if it's a little weird and cold and I'm in a truck. The times count. They will be official.
And we're having a great time out here.
Yeah, we're rolling, we're racing.
It was all uphill till here, and it's all downhill from here. But that's okay.
We're about 40 seconds out from this next heat. Neither Buggy after the line. Here comes Roadrunner now, moving into lane 1. Still don't see Zoop. Here comes Zoop. Ooh, there. Spirit really cutting it close today with getting the buggy to the line. Looks like they'll have just enough time again. They gotta get the bug down. Just barely got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're off.
That was very tight. CIA Men's B, Hill 1, Carter Macheno shot out of a cannon, going way up Hill 1 very fast. Looking at what that transition is, but 100% looking at the fastest time of the day. Transitioning at about a 19 seconds there or so. Really fast Hill 1. Beautiful pickup by Hill 2. Taking his hand onto the push bar, getting control, getting the angle he wants, and shoving it a couple buggy lengths ahead of the crosswalk. Zook barely in the picture there, but looks like she is just now making that shove down into Hill 2. But Roadrunner gliding through the free roll, 100% looking like the best of the day on the men's side from everything they've got here. Roadrunner moving smoothly, cruising 56.5 seconds past that stop sign. So a few seconds ahead of everyone else we've seen today, going past that first shoot flag. Do not have eyes on Zook yet. Coming in nice and tight, going to the second shoot flag and into that turn. So let's see. Roadrunner keeping a lot of momentum.
Right on, Roadrunner. And here comes Zook.
Let's see. Good pickup there. Hill 3 in a full sprint once making contact with the buggy. 3 bumps there. Looks like this will be a pretty quick Hill 3 now, shoved off the transition of 4.
And Zook's burning her Hill 3. All right, Spirit, all right. Good rollouts by Spirit this morning.
Aiken Z on Hill 4, making that transition now over to Hill 5. And so here is the back end under 2 minutes, about 5 seconds ahead of the pace of anyone we've seen so far here on the men's side. Will be a pretty nice time by CIA Men's B, crossing over 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Looking to get a sub 2:20. You see the excitement on the faces of their teammates coming towards that finish line, grabbing hands on the push bar, and that's going to be right at about a 2:20 there. We will give you an official time, but a very nice roll by CIAB, 100% going to be the top time of the day on the men's side. Spirit Women's B coming up to that finish line. So looking good there. Jasmine Zhang coming in, trying to see what time they are able to get here for Spirit. Still approaching the finish line, trying to get my eyes on everything that is happening. And coming right across, right at about 3 minutes there. So again, not necessarily a top time for them on that end, but a beautiful looking buggy, a good clean roll.
Yeah.
And Nate, go ahead.
I was going to say, someone tell those Spirit pushers to move up on Hill 3 because they got speed today.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a couple times they gotten smoked a little bit.
Yeah, really some quick times from both teams in that heat, it sounds like. Roadrunner going through drops right now, looking fine as most teams have today. I don't think I've seen any drops, failures, or anything even close really so far today, which is a good sign.
Unmuted. I mean, it's a similar build time. No offense. So, yeah. Yeah, it happens. Was she a senior?
Oh, whoop.
All right. So she's got time.
She didn't.
Okay, so we have the CIAB time in.
But she's not future years. Future warmer years.
20.27.
And hopefully a new build.
Also, Sophie, if you want to go on mute, I think. Are you having a conversation? All right, cool. Sweet. All right, the conversation is no longer on the air. 220.27. So CIAB moving solidly up into first place. 227.39 CIAC right now in second place. On the women's side, they're 3:01.21 for Spirit B. That puts them into 5th place. So solid time out of them, but again, well off the pace of the first place team, CIAC at 246.81.
It's really just lets you
Getting into the 11th heat of the day, Apex Women's C in Helios and SDC Women's B in Paranoia. Going to definitely have eyes here on SDC Women's B. Expectations that they'll probably be moving into the top spot. We haven't seen very much SDC rolling today. We've seen their C team on the women's side and their D team on the men's side, but you got to think they're going to be one of the main teams pushing CIA for a potential win in both divisions here.
Some of these buggies are super old.
And this is kind of the first of their big real deal teams that's going to be rolling.
But I'm going to hop back on. Yeah.
Yeah, SDC Women's B taking 4th place last year, I believe. So definitely looking to take the top time of the day so far, just as we're starting to approach a minute here to the next heat.
And Apex Women's C and Helios. So one of the rare same gender heats. It's been a lot of mix, which has had some very interesting outcomes just in terms of some of these races and how close or not close things have been, and also I think demonstrates a lot in the shoot in terms of just the quality of some of these buggies where you may have a mismatched push team with the different genders, but then you see some of these rolls and these lines and just how much driving in a good line and a good buggy can change the amount of time within a free roll has been fascinating to me. Maybe someone else, I don't know.
Yeah, both buggies coming out to the line here, both buggies being floated by their respective teams. Let's see what we got with this one. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Okay, and here we go. Lane 1, Helios. Lane 2, Paranoia. SDC's new buggy. The Hill 1's looking fairly close. SDC B finally starting to separate themselves now about halfway up Hill 1, and you can tell that second half of the Hill 1, this is a B team versus a C team. Solid transition, 1 to 2. Ellen Angwin, the Hill 2 pusher for SDC. Coming up about straight, able to put the hand on the push bar, turn it, getting a nice angle there. And here's Paranoia coming into the free roll. Helios just now getting their Hill 2 shoved down. Very smooth line for Paranoia. Into this free roll, they are looking good. You can tell just some really clean driving here, everything looking smooth, moving nicely through here and appearing to have one of the top times, about a 104, hitting the stop sign there. I do not have eyes on Helios yet. You see that flag with the red dot, that means it is SDC signaling 1, signaling 2 through the second shoot flag. And let's see how they look coming in.
That's a perfect line. Not a single wobble.
There. No wobble. Really nice parabola, or I don't know how you describe it. But...
And here comes Helios.
Good pick up on Hill 3 by them. Pretty much ideal timing, ideal momentum from the pusher. Transitioning now to Hill 4. Catherine Horn.
Helios took a hard turn, made it through, but lost a little bit of momentum. And now Hill 3's going up.
Hill 4, meanwhile, continuing right about time to transition to Hill 5, looking like they are in position for the top time of the day. Again, 2:46.81, the time to beat as the 4-5 transition is now underway. Emily Song on Hill 5, absolutely blasting that buggy, going so fast. You see some hype, you see some energy from the SDC team. Looking good as we cross over 2 minutes, 35 seconds. SDC D just a few buggy lengths away from that finish line as Emily coming through, hands on the push bar, about a 2:44. So that's going to definitely give them the fastest time of the day, but not by a giant margin. Apex Women's C Hill 5 coming into the picture now as we cross over 3 minutes for them. So they will have a time slightly over 3 minutes here, but let's see. Looks like, again, they will be finishing. Lost some momentum. It sounded like they're in the chute, but that's okay. A lot of the members of the Apex team there to greet the buggy at the finish line as Elena Bazzotti coming close to finishing there, looking to close things out for them. And hands on the push bar, coming across at about a 3-minute, 28-second mark. So nice stuff from Paranoia, but not drastically faster than CIA there, if my unofficial timing is correct.
Yeah, what was that time again? I'm sorry, I missed it on the broadcast.
It looked like it was about like 2:44 unofficially, according to what I saw. Again, we'll wait to see what we get from CMU Buggy alums and the timers and all that. All these times you can find on cmubuggy.org. Again, if you're listening to this, you probably know all of this. You probably care a lot about Buggy. You're probably like, Will, quit saying incorrect things even after all these years. But that's okay. I have the ability to talk nonstop, and some other people don't, so here I am. Oh my God, my knees hurt. I'm standing up in the back of this truck. This is weird. I mean, I can't really complain. This is fun. But looking for that time to come through. Yep, it is a 2:45.45. So only about 1.3 seconds faster than CIAC. Not something you would necessarily expect out of an SDCB.
Yeah, definitely a much tighter gap there than I think most people would have expected, especially considering previous results. Looks like they just got through drops, or past drops, I should say. And he
Again, not a ton of speed, but just the way they transition from Hill 2 into the free roll was about as smooth as we've seen all day. Not a lot of kind of steering there, just really gliding into that. We have reached the point in today's program where I can officially say I can't, but that's okay. Four more heats to go. This one going to be interesting, Fringe, with a in ballpark, but maybe not.
The actual backdrop? It's probably the dry.
Yeah, first
That probably is.
first heavy hitting 18 we're going to see.
Yeah, you really told these type of pushers.
Yeah, do backdrops on the I don't know what stands.
How fast? Thank you. The audience. So they can see drums.
There we go. Grab.
And they're off.
So here go the teams. Pika men's A trying to move into the top spot. The time to beat a 2:20.27. And their Hill 1 pusher means business. Michael Aqua Harrison getting that transition over to Hill 2 at about 15 seconds. 100% your king of the hill so far for today. Gideon Deasy making it look easy on Hill 2. Little bit of a wobble into that shove, but a lot of momentum, a lot of power. Pika A, Raptor looking good as they are into the free roll, and it looks like Women's A by Fringe Baltic just getting into that too as well. So a fair bit of separation there. Raptor, a lot of speed, looking nice in the free roll here. Just from my own experience of the G-forces in the back of this truck, looking pretty fast. And that's about a 54-second stop sign time. So something you would expect out of an A-team. Bit of an interesting location. The Pika flagger going into the street rather than there on the curb. Maybe that is customary for them to do as they are into the chute here with Raptor. Wow, they are fast.
Little bit of a fishtail by Raptor, but she's keeping her speed.
Yeah. And looks like maybe just from so much momentum, Hills 3, Lucas Zinenkowicz picking up that very deep on Hill 3. A lot of momentum maintained for Raptor, and it looks like that's going to be a 4-shove Hill 3 as they transition over to Brendan Clark. Pika looking very good today.
Yep, and Baltic just got picked up.
So Pika, all things lining up for them to have the top time of the day so far, put the pressure on the other men's teams as that 4-5 transition. Just zooming down Hill 5. He looks like a man on a mission, both fast and furious. As we cross over the 2-minute, 10-second mark, the brothers of Phi Kappa Alpha cheering him on. That last bit of push and momentum approaching the finish line as it comes over there. And a little bit of a bump and a jump at about a 2:19 there. Couldn't quite get eyes on what happened with that. Looks like the push bar maybe pulled the buggy up as he was getting hands. You see some laughs, some hands on faces, but all joy for the brothers there. And meanwhile, Baltic coming up, swinging into Hill 5. Some cheers from Fringe there. Accidentally hit my stopwatch, so not entirely sure on their time, but I will update you on that as well. So a good time from Pika, not necessarily a great time, but I think definitely.
I'm a tiny bit worried when I get banned from YouTube for that one. For what? That shot there.
Oh, for the.
Yeah, because his head fell down as he dove, and as he got up, his butt was shot. His rear end was shot. I tried to film the camera, but I didn't fast enough.
We're not monetizing it.
So to get those times in, imagine I could go to jumping up the first place there, we see where Fringe is able to go on the winning side.
Although, are we just showing the video?
I was.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because you're actually paying attention. I remember. Yeah. Can you do me a favor and check if there are live stream comments about that? Bro.
Your defending champions are going to be rolling right here. So interesting to see them here on this day one.
Yeah, and I'm a little worried that we're going to get banned off of YouTube. Where's the camera? I heard the camera, but I don't know the password.
Be hanging on the top there. Something going on with an ambulance?
Hope everyone's okay.
Oh, that's the pusher. Gotcha.
I do too. We'll try and get you an update on that when we have it. Unsure if we're having any delays.
I'm gonna.
EMS looks like paramedics. Doesn't seem like it's too severe. But yeah, again, talking about the depth and quality that's a little less than the CIC.
You know what? Does at home. So I don't know. For the right, like is there even audio right now? Can you and all of that, right? CIA. Now it's. I'm assuming you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Discord audio, desktop audio, like I have audio output capture is, but I think the audio. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I took them out of my ear, and the mic is still lighting up, so it seems like it's working. Even minutes out of your oven, or whatever you're using, make a second's worth of difference on the course. So maybe I'm sure they got it under control.
Yeah.
Okay. Not CIT, but I know that there are some teams who use some sort of, probably not exactly a CV like you would a state, but some similar intended. Yeah, no, that's fascinating to me. I have opinions on Suvi and the counts as pushing, but that's neither here nor there. Buggy broadcast. Everything has been addressed.
Clock has just restarted at 7 minutes.
It's going to be much more than a two-horse race between CIA and SDC. So CIA here going to make their mark, make their time. And
yeah,
then,
really interesting.
Go ahead.
Yeah, really interesting that this year we actually have to wait overnight to see sort of who takes the crown on, a lot of these races. I mean, CIA Women's Day doesn't go until tomorrow, but SDC Women's Day goes today. So a lot of the heavy hitters are split up, and, some teams are going to go home knowing what they have to beat. Some teams are going to go home knowing where they're at and either being happy with that or nervous that it might not hold up.
Yeah. So
That is
SDC
interesting.
Women's Day will be in the final heat of the day. So, you may have, I think that'll be kind of the high water mark on the women's side. Hypothetically, CIA Men's A should be that on the men's side. Excuse me. Also will be interesting just in that they're going against SDC Men's C. Again, maybe not quite as much depth as we have seen in prior years from SDC, but still one of those things where, right, because there is that rivalry, that head-to-head kind of battle with all of this, what does SDC do trying to get up the hill, maybe cause a little bit of trouble for CIA there, and if they can affect the race at all. One of the rare cases today where two of the same heat with men versus men or women versus women.
Yeah, I fully expect this to be a tight race up the front hills here.
Also, we'll see this year, it's happened in the past where the first fastest team and the second fastest team are in the same org. So we'll see if that happens as well. But it's always fun to see the A teams kind of take the top 7 or so. But I have a feeling that some of these orgs are putting out really fast guys and women. So we'll see what the results are.
Totally. I mean, I think, right, even in the, on the men's side, the fact that CIA B and C right now are second and third place. Again, right now, first place, Pike A just took it 218.65, CIB 220, CIC 227, Sig Nu B 228, SAE 231, and SDCC 236. On the women's side, SDCB 245, CAC 246, Fringe A 251, Sig Nu A 254, Apex A 254, and a few more fractions, and then CIAD 3 minutes 1 second. So, not blazing fast times. I don't think we would expect it with those elements, but a lot of opportunities open for movement here. CIAA, you see their pushers starting to get back warmed up. We do know we are under 5 minutes now, probably closer maybe to 3 to the start of things
just under 3 minutes here.
Wow, my sense of time is incredible. So just under 3 minutes until the start of this race. Got to do better than a 2:18. You got to think CIA has that. But with how cold it is, with this delay, how do they move past that and put up the best time that they possibly can? Because like we mentioned, we aren't going to be seeing SDCA until tomorrow, and they're going to know what the time is that they have to beat. Have a whole night to sleep on it. And again, even if it's not CIA Men's A here, if a Pike A time stands, still going to have 24 hours 23 and some change to
Who
do what
knows?
it needs to do to try and take that top time.
Maybe Sig A or Spirit A will come through and take it. Anything
That
can
is true.
happen.
I do not want to discount those other teams.
Yeah.
Just
I'm so worried that I'm gonna.
seems
Yeah,
to
I
me
think-
the dominant narrative has been CIA SDC versus one
gets all
another.
garbled as I walk away.
Yeah, Sig FA definitely a potential dark horse on the men's side. Always putting up fast times, and sometimes it just comes down to whether they can keep their wheels on the ground in the chute.
Yeah, and I am very bummed I will not get to witness that tomorrow. But I will try and tune in as much as I can.
It won't be the same without you.
Well,
That's
not.
all right. You'll be fine. You'll have a great time. But yeah, make sure to tune in tomorrow, everybody who is listening. Again, I probably don't need to remind you of that. But the second half of finals will be coming down. Everybody getting back into the truck here. So that seems like we're probably under a couple minutes or so to the start.
We got 1
1
minute to the gun. Teams look like they're starting to get those wheels ready. Can't really see from here, but I imagine they. Okay, looks like the CIA Emperor is coming to the line right now. About 45 seconds left. Hopefully they can put the buggy out. These are some small mechanics.
So Connor will replace Will, but
And yeah, SVC, not SVC. Yeah, SVCC.
because I want to give him the chance if he
Wait. SVCC nowhere to be seen yet. Yeah. Console is opening up right behind me.
But it's those
Here it
things,
comes.
and then I'll have a better setup tomorrow with a mic, so I will also be able to talk. I think, at least that's the plan. Uh-oh.
It lost the aqua capture.
What?
About 10 seconds here.
Uh-oh. Wait, what happened? But the mic's working.
Yeah, Mike's picking up this.
4, 3, 2, 1. And they're on it.
Here we go. Hill 1 has gotten a bit busier. SDCC trying to keep up with Hill 1 for CIAA, but that is a difficult task. Michael Crotty on Hill 1 looking very fast, a couple buggy lengths ahead now. About a 16-second Hill 1 shoves it off to Hill 2 with Tio Ajani. What? From Hill 2 shot, 25 seconds. CIAA looking to be the fastest of the day so far. SDCC doing a pretty good job, though. Not too terribly far behind in the free roll, but definite separation between the two. Starting now to get out of my frame and vision. Emperor hugging the curb very tightly, keeping a tight line, feeling a lot of speed up here in the truck. They're coming at that stop sign about a 51.5. That is any day a good stop sign time as they go through the first shoot flag. Lust several seconds behind. Emperor knows what they need to do. They want to take back that crown as they go through the second shoot flag with a lot of speed.
Yeah. Emperor's moving fast. Same with Lust.
Pretty much
Nice.
a perfect shoot turn. Hill
Nice
3
turns
got
by both
smoked
teams.
a little bit, but he is a very fast-moving man, a very large man. Jeffrey Zhang shoving it. Lust has gone through, and a big shove on that 3 to 4 transition, holding that push bar, but not really losing any momentum for CIAA. We are now right at about 1 minute 40 seconds on Hill 4. Arden Ryan making that 4-2-5 transition now. You can see Lust behind, but a good several seconds of separation between CIAA and SDCC. Here we are in this final Hill 5, looking to be fast. A 2:18, the time to beat. Dan Emerson drawing close. All of CIA around, applauding, clapping. What will the time be? Getting the hand on the push bar, coming across at about a 2:11. For CIAA, looking to be well faster than Pika. And that looking to be the time to beat on the men's side. Looking for SDCC now coming across hand on the push bar about a 2:25. So CIAA 100% the class of the division so far for today. And that will be the mark that these teams are chasing tomorrow, like you mentioned. Sig Nu, Spirit, SDC, all their men's A teams still to go. And again, while the fastest time of the day, historically not crazy fast, all makes sense given how freaking cold it is and all the conditions and all of that. But the door is open for tomorrow. We'll wait for that official time, but I don't think they got it under 2 minutes 10 seconds. So that is beatable.
That's awesome for CIA. For 39 degrees and cloudy and 8:30 in the morning, that's awesome.
100%. And again, it'll be marginally warmer tomorrow, but not crazy warmer. So you got to think conditions will be similar, if not slightly more favorable. 211.49 for CIA there.
Really, so really again, nice. Coming up, looks like they just finished drops. Emperor passing with flying colors. And it looks like SDC is now at drops with Lust.
What a bummer. Only 2 more rolls today. I mean, not that they've been bummers. It's been some really nice racing here, some exciting stuff, some fun stuff. Trying to remember back to where it was. That pass in the chute was just one of the coolest things that I have ever seen. Was that Kingfisher? Right. I think that was the 4th heat.
I think so.
Yeah, you're gonna want to get a replay of that one. That is one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a buggy race in my life. So it's been a good day so far.
It is. And again, we're preaching to people who know all about this stuff. But remember, they plan the heats so the buggies aren't close. And it's on the driver to have to make up for that if it ends up being close for unexpected circumstances. Just for safety purposes, and it's been a pretty safe day, and that's the most important part of race day, aside from having fun, is having a safe race day. And I'm really proud of Sweepstakes this year for continuing to do a great job.
Yeah, no, shout out Sweepstakes dealing with craziness. I think this is the first time in like 40 or 30 some years that we've had to do a second weekend of races, so truly unprecedented stuff. And making some tough calls last weekend and then doing the hard work of making all this come together. And again, it's not normal, but nothing really ever is. We're out here, we're racing. There is now a nice smattering of people out here on the course watching, cheering these teams on. This is the penultimate heat. Sig Nu Men's A in Jaeger, Spirit Men's D in Invisid.
I'm starting to think that a normal race day is one where at least one of the days is rained out.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been doing this 15 years. I feel like we've had, more days with 1 day of racing than 2 days, if I remember correctly. So that's cool.
45 seconds till the next heat here. I think Sig Nu Men's A is definitely. Sig Nu is definitely a team to watch here. Yeah, down to 37 now.
Okay, gee whiz, wow.
Neither team out at the line yet, but here comes Visid and Crane is making his way over to lane 1 right now.
Is it Crane or is it Jaeger?
Sorry, Jaeger. Crate was the B team.
Sweet.
Spirit doing their classic get to the line as late as humanly possible and then some. But looks like they just barely made it in time. Where's the hill 1 pusher? Uh-oh. All right, well.
Who's hill 1 pusher?
Oh. Yeah, Spirit's hill 1 pusher didn't come up to the buggy fast enough, so that might end up being a 5-second if someone wants to submit it. But
have the mechanic floating or hop in.
Yep, and Jaeger well ahead, as you'd imagine, with an A team versus a D team. There was briefly an e-bike on the course. They have been screamed at and cleared as Hill 1 has transitioned to Hill 2. So sorry, that was distracting me. Pretty deep Hill 2 push there by Jaeger. A little bit of a wobble on that release, losing some momentum. So, a little bit behind the better times of the day. But again, I've been very impressed by both of Sig Nu's roles here. clean into the curb, looking nice and tight as they are moving. So they will be looking for, a solid time, and a 56 seconds at the stop sign. So again, that's one of the better times we've seen so far today. So liking what I'm seeing out of Sig Nu, a little bit of a wobble at that first shoot flag, got a tiny bit squirrely there, but cleanly through the second one. Invisid, I do not have eyes on yet, but looks like they're approaching that first shoot flag.
Jaeger's making it nice and through. Invisid a little bit slower.
And Jaeger, tiny bit of wobble late there in the shoot, but nothing really too monumental to affect things. A good pickup by the Hill 3, Elliot Lee, who hands it off now to Eric Lynn here on Hill 4.
Invisid took it wide, but she's safely through.
Or no, sorry, I was reading the Spirit Pushers. Ricky Gao, the Hill 4, here for Sig Nu. Again, looking maybe not to be top overall time, but could make some noise in that 2-3-4 spot as we are with their Hill 5 pusher. He is moving very quickly, getting motivation from his teammates. We are crossing over 2 minutes, 10 seconds, flying in there towards that finish line, over 2:17, pushing with all that he has. Hands on the push bar, coming across right at about a 2 minute, 20 second. We can see Invisid here now with their Hill 5. Spirit Buggy coming out, cheering them on. We're over 2 minutes, 30 seconds with their D team. Nice to see Spirit rolling 4 teams out with the D team here in this 40th year of racing for Spirit Racing Systems. And
Absolutely.
coming across at about a 2:47. A lot of excitement there by Spirit D team right around the finish line. Good to see some joy, some happiness out here. And we only have one more heat. But this will be an interesting one. SDC Women's A will be pushing here. One of the definite favorites on the women's side, looking to take a title back that they really have not had for quite some time.
Yeah, the ever-present SDC A teams looming over the horizon, as it feels like it has been, at least as long as I've been here. Probably longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, SDC won almost every year I was a student.
Well, back when I was starting, it was kind of, SDC was kind of this cool, scrappy team of like, hey, they can challenge Pika, because Pika was the evil dominant team, and then it turns out SDC also was. But that's cool. I like SDC people. I have to be a little bit mean to them at some point. But yeah, I don't think since COVID they haven't won on the women's side, have they?
I think Spirit took it in
years ago, and then CIA.
I think SDC took it in the 2021 COVID Raceday year, but in 22 Spirit took it, and in 23 Spirit took it. 22.
No, Spirit did it back to back because there was the CIA disqualification, and then it was CIA, and now here we are.
Yeah, that's right. Invisid passing drops.
Right. My favorite part of these women's squads in the A teams is watching a Hill 1 be faster than a lot of the men in the other teams.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think it was like 17 seconds or so for CIA. I might be wrong for the King of the Hill. Someone will tell me, but we'll take a look at that. Obviously, SDCA, or excuse me, CIA. I think that was their Hill 1 time. Won't be quite as fast as that necessarily, but we'll try and get a Hill 1 split for you there. Again, the top team right now on the women's side is SDCB at a 2:45.
Yep.
So potential to be a lot faster than that with their A team, but again, the door wide open.
Yeah, definitely going to see some of the stronger, other than SDCA coming up right now, some of the stronger women's teams coming out tomorrow. You would expect the winning time to be a good bit faster than a 2:45.
I see the SDC back hills pushers back here. They're getting hype. I'm excited to see it.
So again, on the men's side, the top team CIAA at 211.49. On the women's side right now at 245.45. But here in this final heat, we got SDC Women's A going. You gotta think they're gonna put up something a little bit faster than that.
Yep, and we'll find out here in about 55 seconds as
Time to lock in, literally.
near the last heat of our first day here. See Molotov being carried out to the line now for Apex Women's D. Interesting to see if they are floating or not for a D team. I know CIA, we tend to not treat wheels for D teams. It's just not worth the stress. But looks like they'll be floating for the D team, and here comes Dane.
So SDC Women's A in Bain. Again, we won't know who the winner is until races are done tomorrow, but they want that title back. They need that title back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're going.
And here we are, SDCA. What time will they put up? What standard can they set going into the final day of races tomorrow? Looking really, really fast on Hill 1. Making that transition now right at about 20 seconds. I started my stopwatch maybe a tiny bit late, but still very fast on Hill 1. Hill 2 controlling that push bar, making that turn, keeping it inside the yellow line. Not a huge shove, so not a ton of momentum gained by them there on Hill 2, but also kept a lot of good just kind of movement, kept it in a steady and consistent line. SDC keeping it a little ways away from the curb, a bit further than some of the other teams. Tiny bit of a wiggle there here in the free roll. So moving well, but not crazy fast. That's about a minute, 1 second stop sign time there as they approach the first of their 2 shoot flags. Again, this is Bane trying to reclaim their glory and their title. And they will do so here in these back hills as they approach the shoot.
Perfect turn by Bane. Ready for a trophy.
Bane looking good, but not a crazy amount of momentum. Hill 3 coming in pretty deep to picking up right at that crosswalk mark right there. So a longer Hill 3 by them, maybe not their fastest free roll. Hill 3 still plugging along. That pusher is Anna Engel as she now transitions over to Elizabeth Schaefer. Apex D getting in position, ready to pick up Molotov.
There she goes.
So a ton of separation between the two there. The story will be what time can SDCA finish with? What will they set it at? What will be the mark that the teams will be chasing tomorrow? The Hill 4-5 transition is made. Elizabeth Schaefer to Aaron Magid. We cross now over 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the backside of Hill 5 here. SDCA giving it all that they got. They want to get a championship. Will they be able to do it? We will have to wait till tomorrow and see, but the time that they are going to post as they come across is about a 2:37. 2:37 right there out of SDC Women's A. So that will be the time pending drops in a few moments there. So fast, but not crazy fast. Waiting here for Molotov to be coming out.
Yeah, not a crazy time overall, I think. At least I know things are slower than last year, but definitely not crazy compared to their time last year. I believe around like a 2:32, 2:33.
Yeah. And again, it is cold. Things are moving a bit slower. We will see how weather influences things tomorrow being slightly warmer.
yeah, you have to wonder if teams were thinking about which side they thought maybe they'd be more competitive on, and whether you'd want to give them that extra advantage of a day, or maybe you're trying to balance out your teams. I don't know. Everyone's got different strategy and what they value.
So there we are. I do not know. Will we? Are there rerolls? Are there allowances for rerolls today?
I have no idea. I haven't heard anything about rerolls. We probably would only have time for one.
Yeah. If not, I mean, that was a day of races. Cool. All right. We're waiting here on rerolls. I do not, as of now, have any word or necessarily belief that they are happening. But wow, this has been a thrill. Pretty wild. Again, we have a whole day tomorrow of more of these. So we have some top times that other teams will be chasing. A lot of top teams to come tomorrow. So a lot of drama, a lot of excitement in a race day like we've never experienced before. Like I mentioned, I started my stopwatch a tiny bit slow. So SDCA there, a 2:39.06 is what the time they posted there. So very much open for other teams to come up and claim that top spot.
Yeah, definitely not as much of a gap there with their B team as what I was expecting.
So waiting to hear on free rolls, but again, not positive who will be taking my role tomorrow, but they will be qualified and a delightful person. Bummed I won't be able to be here, but I do want to just shout out and thank everybody who made this possible while we're waiting to hear on a reroll sweepstakes, going through all the chaos and making this happen. Buggy Alumni Association, shout out to them, everything they did to pull together this crack broadcast. I don't know how it looks visually, but the fact we have sound is pretty cool. Again, we do have cameras all around the course that aren't live streaming, but we will have footage from those of everything if you want to catch the races in their full glory. They'll also be available to the judges for judges' reviews. Want to thank WRCT for putting some sound out on the course. Want to thank CMU-TV for getting some of those cameras that will be capturing everything. W3VC out here looking good in the scaffolding, helping everyone communicate. CMU EMS, everybody in student life, whatever they call it now, slice of life. So thank you to them. I don't know. If you feel like you should be thanked, that's cool. Know that you are acknowledged, even if not by me. But yeah, this has been a treat. Thank you to my co-broadcasters as well, Nate, Sophie, Brian, for a brief amount. Any final thoughts from y'all before we go ahead and close this thing out?
Thank you guys so much for having me.
What was that? Hold on, Nate.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I just got word that we're not doing any rerolls today, so.
Awesome. Well,
I don't know if it was mentioned.
Cool. No, so no reroll. So I think this is about it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow for the finals of this weird, strange, elongated race day. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, given the conditions, some times that definitely can be topped, but will teams do it? Find out tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to Race Day 2.0 2025.